Hey folks, what a joy to be here with you today to talk about what I believe and what we at AGI Management believe are some really important things for you as a small and medium sized business leader to wrap your brain around in order to attract and hire top talent, retain top talent throughout this very unique season of a labor shortage, of a competitive labor market. And though what we see as we walk alongside small and medium sized businesses is you have a very unique competitive advantage if you understand the realities of what's taking place in the labor market. And that's our goal today in this crash course, is just to educate you on what we believe are six of many key trends that you can wrap your brain around and better your strategy to attract and retain top talent. Let's launch into these six components. Of course, if you don't know me, my name's John McCarthy. I'm the founder and the key consultant at AGI Management, where we get to walk alongside small and medium sized businesses to do just what we're doing here today. So, the six key trends we're going to talk about today are industry consolidation, next gen hiring, the gig economy, wage increases, new psychology of work, which is something we are passionate about educating the small and medium sized businesses on, and of course, the big buzz that everyone's talking about, generative AI, and what it means for your business in hiring and retaining top talent. So, industry consolidation is such a fascinating one, knowing that we are in an arena where many of the larger companies are gobbling up smaller and mid-sized competitors. In fact, in 2023, there was this huge boom of evaluations. And when there's evaluations on small and medium-sized businesses, they're usually thinking about the possibility of consolidation. Now, in 2024, because of the political realities, there wasn't the extreme consolidation effect that we thought. But in 2025, this market and beyond is poised for a lot of consolidation. What does this mean? It means that larger companies are going to gain market share. They're also going to increase their economies of scale. And when they do so, they have the ability to pay talent and attract talent with larger wages. This is a variable that scares a lot of our clients in wondering how they're going to compete with these larger entities in this consolidation reality. But truth be told, larger companies may be putting together bigger compensation packages, but that is not necessarily the top motive of the individuals that you're looking to attract and retain. What we need to understand as small and medium sized businesses is we have a unique opportunity to create compensation packages that are actually more motivational for top talent. Money is the top motivator for most and the top attractor once it meets an individual's needs. However, once it exceeds their needs, its intrinsic motivational capability is greatly reduced, and then intrinsic motivators become more and more important. And the small and medium sized businesses are actually set up to present those intrinsic motivators and fulfill those intrinsic motivators. And when they realize that and start to look at compensation packages in a different way, baking in the full component of what motivates, then they have a competitive advantage over the larger companies that are going to use the economies of scale of larger wage compensation packages as their benefit. So, what does this mean for you? Personalized benefits, not just health benefits, not just compensation, but what employees say that they want. Things like purpose in their organization, purpose in their job, understanding how their job tasks and their day-to-day actually increase the difference in the world. As a small and medium-sized business, you are a change agent. 50% of our GDP is made up of small businesses or medium-sized businesses that are under 250 employees. That's incredible, and that's probably you. And you have an ability to be agile and to be purposeful, and that is super attractive to talent right now. So when you're thinking about compensation packages, you have to think about all of these things around purpose and how an individual can be motivated by purpose, but also their job design. You have an ability to be flexible and help them with autonomy. We'll dig into that in a little bit. But also career growth. Career growth is a component that every compensation package needs to have involved in. It's really hard to think about this from the get-go, but if you show talent that you're trying to attract and retain, that you genuinely care about who they are becoming, both at work and at home, and you're investing into a career growth plan that's unique and individualized for them, you will be attractive to top talent. And these are the types of things that larger businesses have a harder time to do on an individual basis. This is your major competitive advantage, to create these personalized compensation packages so that you can compete for talent, as opposed to just believing that money is going to be what attracts and retains talent. It's just not true, and it's your advantage. Let's go to trend number 2. As we look at next gen hiring, we live in such a unique time in our marketplace where 5 different generations make up our marketplace. And when you look at the major changes, the big component here is that the millennials and Gen Z will make up 3/4 of our labor market this year in 2025. This is daunting for most to think about. How do I adapt my hiring and my retention, my performance management, my HR to meet the needs of this next gen? And in many cases, we don't fully understand the needs of the next gen, yet we need to embrace them. As you see here on this slide, Generation Alpha is right there behind them, and it's going to be another big generation. So we're looking at some rapid change in the way that people think about work, the way that they think about purpose, and the way that they think about the companies they want to join and stay in. So for small businesses, what we need to realize is that we need to brand our differentiation as a small business, as a change agent, an organization that is working purposefully for change in the world. And I know that might seem really idealistic, but I don't believe it is. We worked with companies that are producers of trinkets all the way to service providers. And the reality is we need to start looking at our work as having meaning in the world. And when we do that, we're able to brand it that way more purposefully. And when we brand it that way and have an employment brand that's based on the nature of our work, adding value to the world and to the individual and to communities, then we're more attractive to the next generation of candidates. Also, next generation is very, very eager. In fact, they will demand flexibility. And quite frankly, they are very good at working within flexibility. But many companies haven't set up the right patterns and processes to allow for both flexibility and effectiveness. It's 2 sides to the same coin. And so in the small and medium-sized businesses, we need to be thinking through, how can we create a workforce that is more autonomous and more flexible, but how do we create systems, SOPs, processes, and technology that can make sure that we're setting people up for success to hit the nail the right way and exceed the motivations and what we're saying they need to accomplish at work. This is really exciting when we come alongside our clients in this way, and we're excited for you to think through that. So just a couple quick takeaways. You want to define a clear employment brand that focuses on purpose, and you want to invest in technology that will make every employee's job not just flexible, but flexibly effective. All right. And those are really cool. There's a lot of technology out there, obviously, right now. And we'd love to come alongside you as we are doing this in our organization. We have a very autonomous and flexible workforce here at AGI Management, and yet extremely effective and motivated because they can live in their flexibility, living out their best life and their work life. It's really exciting to think about what the next gen hiring can look like if we think through this and use the competitive advantage that the small and medium-sized business actually has. All right, number 3, the gig economy. You know, before COVID, we were saying that 35% of Americans were drawing some sort of revenue in the gig economy. We believe that it's up to about 38% now. So it's just on the increase, and you can see by 50%, Upwork believes, or by 2028, Upwork believes that it will be 50% of Americans that will be drawing some sort of revenue from the gig economy. This might be a side hustle, it might be a passion project, it might be driving Uber on the weekends, it could be a variety of things. But what's really important for you as a small and medium-sized business to realize this is a competitive advantage for you. A, in the way that you leverage the gig economy, but B, in the way that you attract and retain talent that might have a side hustle or a project that they want to gain revenue on, and you actually being encouraging to that. Now, larger companies have a hard time with this because they kind of want all of the employee. We need to ditch that philosophy as small and medium sized business leaders and just realize that flexible models of employment attract the right talent. And quite frankly, we should be close enough to our employees and individualizing those plans of growth, both for them and for their career and their work life at our employment situation, so that they might actually be encouraged to have a gig outside of work. It's a big differentiator for somebody who understands that the gig economy is part of their revenue for their household and for their career. If a small and medium-sized business actually encourages them in that way. So think through how to encourage people in their passion as a side hustle and realize this is not going to go away. So we might as well meet the needs of the labor market that is requiring and attracted to this. So let's look at trend 4, the wage increases that everybody's talking about. It's been really hard to keep up with this year. That's not going to change. You see the increases in the wage increases that have taken place this year there on your screen. And inflation is real. It's our belief that it's not going to go away. In fact, we believe that it's going to be increasing at about a 5% clip for the next few years. And economists that we follow believe that's the case. So we have to consider this. And what's the most important thing here for small and medium-sized businesses is to help people understand what they need and what they want, as opposed to just believing that money is the greatest motivator. We get to educate our workforce a little bit on motivation, on their best life with their work life, a term we call purpose, and how to really meet their whole lives' dreams based on the money they need and the money they want in the future, but also the lifestyle they want to live and the work-life balance that they want to have relational thriving, and the well-being that they want to have in order to be the best version of themselves. I know these seem like really airy-fairy philosophies, but in business right now, we need to adapt to what the market is demanding. And this is what the market is demanding. Everyone's talking about how everything is so expensive, myself included, and that's true. And I need to make more money for my family today than I ever did to meet those household needs. But I also have more needs for myself around well-being, around autonomy and flexibility, around having purpose. And this is the big change in the new psychology of work we're seeing, that we can't just get caught up in the wage increase. We have to understand the whole person that we get to employ, the purpose that we have at work, and the purpose that they can have. When we do that as small and medium-sized businesses, and as we start to develop and value career and life development over pay raises, we leverage that competitive advantage. It's really exciting. And really an obvious way to do this is just to think about well-being and wellness programs, what that actually means. We have taken such great joy over the last few years at being able to instill the right well-being programs in the right way at our client organizations. It has made a huge difference in individuals' lives, in the organization, as well as productivity, and most importantly, in attraction and retention of top talent. Let's move into trend number 5, which I've already dubbed a little bit as the new psychology of work. Yes, folks, it's hard to adapt into it from the Industrial Revolution mindset, that of which we've been a part of for many years. And the Industrial Revolution was fantastic for business. It increased our efficiency and effectiveness. But now what we need to realize is that profitability and the ability to build business based on strong human capital, attracting and retaining top talent, is all about changing our thought in the way that individuals are changing their thoughts around what work is, what work isn't, and what they want. They have so many options right now. So the benefit of adapting is so much greater than the cost of staying the same. So we have to shift the way we think in order to shift with the employee motivations of top talent in the market right now. So I've already mentioned it, but 3/4 of individuals, say McKinsey in 2024, are seeking purpose. This is a huge buzzword, one that we throw around a lot in our society, but truth be told, we believe purpose is the intentional integration of your best life with your work life. So we have to think about not just the person at work, but we have to have things in store to meet their motivations at home too. Now, the problem is a lot of them don't understand the best life that they want to live. Intentional life planning is part of leadership development at work now. And that's hard for most of us to wrap our brain around because we used to compartmentalize work and home. But in this new psychology of work, we have to help people figure out the balance they want, the autonomy they want, the flexibility, the needs and wants they have, and how to use their gifts. And when we do so, we see a huge increase in motivation and loyalty. So this is a big shift for most small and medium-sized businesses, but it's absolutely essential. And the investment actually is minimal in helping people figure this out, the leadership development component of who they are at home and at work and living the best life that they want to live so that they can be the best version of themselves at work as well. It's a minimal investment, but the reward is so great. And we see companies that do this have individuals and top talent that just stay with them for a long time because they're content, not just at work, but at home. And contentment drives satisfaction at work, it drives motivation, it drives performance. And that's what we're after for the small and medium sized business in order to really compete in this competitive labor market. So, lots to think through when we are looking at the new psychology of work, but really exciting time if we embrace this in the right way. Which brings us to our last trend, which is generative AI. Holy moly, everyone's talking about it, and very few are quite wrapping their brain around how do we realistically invest in AI so that it's customized for our organization to increase efficiency and effectiveness and empower our people, not scare them. This is a big piece of the puzzle, and it's really quite a conundrum. I've done just a lot of research and really diving into generative AI, specifically for small and medium-sized businesses and our business as well. And what I can tell you is that when we have forward-thinking organizations, we're already more attractive to top talent. We're already more retainable, as we like to say, to the talent that we want to keep and empower in our organization, as opposed to those organizations that are sticking their head in the sand and saying, oh my gosh, all right, go dabble with ChatGPT, but we're not going to mess with it other than that. If you're a small and medium-sized business that hasn't really dove into what generative AI can do for your business, it's time. It's time. So take some courses, find the right partners in your business, and figure out how to create agentic workflows and agents that are customized to your organization's knowledge base so that you can really create efficiency and effectiveness for the people that you employ. This is a gift to them. They can use more of their skills and their talents and their passions when the things they don't love to do are taken off their plate. And that's what generative AI can do for us. So when we're talking about recruiting, we know that AI-driven resume screening is a really good way to leverage AI. And we're seeing all sorts of off-the-shelf generative AI come out in the HR world that's going to reduce some of the administrative components and minutia in hiring in HR. So this is just one vertical of how generative AI is already changing small and medium-sized businesses that we're consulting. And though for you, it's just wrapping your brain around the right investment for efficiency. And this terminology, HITL, is an acronym for Human in the Loop Effectiveness. We know AI can create efficiency, but it still has to have human in the loop for effectiveness. And that's the beauty of what you can communicate to your labor market right now when attracting them, as well as your talent pool that you're looking to retain. We're going to invest in AI, but it's not going to replace you. We're doing this for you to increase your efficiency, but you are actually catalytic in the way that we use AI so that it is effective in the way that our organization needs to customize this. This is super important for every small and medium-sized business right now as you think through this and as you upskill for the next generation of hires, as well as empower your current workforce. Really exciting opportunity if we embrace it. But I know that many of us are trying to not embrace generative AI. We would encourage a different mindset. So some key takeaways that we've explored here in this crash course: that small and medium-sized businesses must attract and retain talent by changing the way that they think and not trying to compete with the larger organization who are generally just going to be throwing money at people, which is motivating to meet a need, but not in excess of needs. So that's our big competitive advantage. We need to offer personalized and flexible packages, Emphasize culture and purpose. This is what we just have so much passion around at AGI Management, is walking into small and medium-sized businesses so this becomes practical, not just words on a wall, actionable, measurable, and behaviors that can change the game in the way that we feel at work. And when your employees feel different at work, feel valued, feel purposeful, feel supported, they are going to stay with you and produce at a high level. We need to leverage the gig economy in different ways, and in some instances encourage our workforce to have a side project that would help them develop in their best life and their work life. And most importantly, we just need to be agile in the way that we're thinking about this current time where pace of change is extreme. And of course, AI is one of those biggest variables. So the agility that a small and medium sized business can have is the major competitive advantage. Larger organizations cannot adapt as quickly as you can. And you've known this, and that's why you're a change agent as a small and medium sized business leader. But now is the time to leverage some new opportunities to attract and retain top talent. Instead of being intimidated by the realities that most small and medium sized businesses are talking about, let's see this as an opportunistic season where we can grow, attract talent, help them be purposeful at work and at home, and retain them so that we can see growth through the great people that we get to hire and work with. If we can help you in any way, we would be passionate to do that. You know, just from watching this crash course, that we're very purposeful ourselves in trying to empower the small and medium-sized business to win the war for top talent by adapting and by being the best version of themselves and being purposeful employers and growing. Thanks so much, and have a great day.